to paint my relationship with Emily as anything other than harmful to my mental health would be inaccurate.
That is a young woman who is assistant video coach with the Vancouver Canucks up until recently. The Emily she's referencing there is a front office staff member, and we're going to get into exactly what happened here with Rachel Dory and her Human Rights Tribunal filing about her firing.
Because the Canucks are on the hot seat. We have a woman with the Canucks who's involved in a situation with another high-profile woman with the Canucks, which I know you as a sportscaster don't love this scenario.
That's putting it mildly. The assistant general manager of the Vancouver Canucks is a woman. That is a huge deal, and one of the reasons why we asked Don Taylor to join us, who is also a very huge deal when it comes to covering all things sports in this province and across the country. But Donnie, this is quite the story.
Yeah, it is, and I think one of the reasons it is, first of all, anything Canuck in British Columbia, Canuck Nation is going to be a big deal. But also, when all these hirings were made, the three women in particular, and even Patrick Alvin, because, you know, first Swedish GM in National Hockey League history, there is this cry, like, look at what we're doing. There's diversity here, and on top of hiring Patrick, we've hired three women in very high-profile positions. Cami Granato and Emily Castengay, assistant GMs, and Rachel Dory as initially a video analyst, and eventually was bumped up to a member of, from what we understand, the coaching staff. So it was a big, big deal. Yeah. So when one of them gets let go, hiring in January, firing or dismissal in September, that's a big deal because they made a big deal about it at the beginning. And again, anything Canuck is a big deal.
Yeah. We should also talk about the reason for the firing, as we understand it, is that Rachel Dory was saying that she was fired because she had put some information on social media about her promotion. She had talked to a journalist without getting permission, that she has some mental health problems, which she had disclosed, PTSD, heart problems. She claims that's why she was let go. But we should tell the other side of the story, which is coming from Emily Castengay, the assistant to the GM. And she made a statement about this, and this is what she is saying. She's saying, I take a lot of pride in my work with the Vancouver Canucks, being a good leader, a person of high moral character, and always respecting and putting my coworkers first. At no time was Ms. Dory treated differently due to gender, a mental disability, or a physical condition. Now, Don, you know these players more than I do. You interviewed Rachel the other day, and what do you make of it all?
Well, I have a hard time believing that what was said at the, well, first of all, she's denied all the allegations. Emily's denied all the allegations. So have the Canucks as a whole. But when you talk about that leak to the province, to Patrick Johnson, who is the reporter in question here, I have a hard time believing that was the only thing that was a problem.
It seemed very benign. So lay that out, because they're friends. That Rachel Dory said, Patrick and I were friends. I told him something completely off the cuff because Bruce Boudreau had allegedly said in a group of people in a scrum that she did a good job.
She did a good job and was looking forward to working with her more as my understanding of video analyst, and onward and upward. And then, boom, out of nowhere, she gets let go. It was just very, very surprising. So I'm surprising that. I have a hard time believing that was the only thing that was a problem. I don't know any more than that.
Yeah, what's sad about this is the fact that, as you pointed out, we have women finally rising up the ranks in the NHL. What is this going to do to that sort of push for legitimacy for women in the NHL?
Well, I think it would. I don't know if it'd be any different than it would be for a man. And I know that might be hard to believe in this day and age. There are people who are really good at their jobs, and there are people who aren't. There are people who get along with certain people, and certain people who don't. So I don't know. I think you can't just say, "Oh, this is going to hurt women." Right?
It's a shame that it's a woman and a woman.
It is. Well, it's a shame, and I know what you're going to say, Jody. Okay. It's a shame because it's stereotyping.
Yes, it's stereotyping, and that's the part, Donnie, because you and I, before doing this, we had like a moment of like, don't tell me now, tell me on there. But the one thing that's breaking my heart here is there are a lot of people outside of the business of sport who'd be like, oh, huge shock.
Yeah.
A couple of women fighting and
Yeah, so that's really disappointing for anybody, pretty much everybody who wants to see this advance. And I always think, like, I live in a macho world, macho family. I'm involved with hockey and all that. But when you talk about hiring women into positions that they're not normally hired for, haven't been in the past with the National Hockey League, you're expanding your possibility of really good employees.
You
right?
also are known to lift women up. I've got to say, I have had the luxury of working with this individual for years at Sportsnet. You and I sat on the desk together at then GM Place when Vancouver was awarded the 2010 games. One of the highlights of my sports career was working with you, and I was fangirling, so excited to work with you, and you're like, calm down, I'm not that great. And you just put me at ease. Like, there are people, you do work in a macho world, and it is difficult for women to rise, but there are people like you who work very hard to do that. That's what breaks my heart in the scenarios, because it seems, from what we do know, is the men in this situation, in this scenario,
behave perfectly. From what we hear.
From what we understand.
Why would she file a human rights complaint versus suing?
I'm not sure, because everybody's assuming that she's, not everybody. A lot of people are assuming she's looking for something,
right?
I.e.,
money,
cash, money. But my understanding with this, putting this forth as a human rights complaint, I think it's more just trying to make a point.
Yeah, well, that's what she said. She wants to change the culture of hockey.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun.
We do have one clip from your show. One more thing before we throw to break here, because you and your partner, Rick Dollywall.
What do we do?
Donnie and Dolly, the team. You watch it here on Check. You and Rick, actually, Rick asked the question about whether or not Rachel thinks she has a future in the NHL. Let's play that clip.
Rachel, are you done with hockey? Will you ever work in hockey again?
Honestly, Rick, right now, I don't feel comfortable working in the National Hockey League. I don't feel that the National Hockey League is a safe enough environment for people of color, for people in the LGBTQ plus community, for people with disabilities. But I will say that I will be nowhere near a front office for a very long time, if not for the rest of my life, because it's not somewhere that I want to be.
What a shame. And great get. I mean, it's a story everybody's talking about.
Yeah, and she made the point that with this human rights complaint is that it was going to be a matter of public record. Like you could access the information if you want, versus a lawsuit where everybody wants to be hush hush until you get into the courtroom. So
I read the whole
she wanted
document.
to get she wanted to get this out there. I came away from that interview because, like so many other people that I know, that she mentioned she suffers from PTSD.
Yeah.
Something happened earlier in her life. There's a lot of people out there like that.
That's true.
I came away feeling a bit sorry for her.
Yeah.
I did. I know a lot of people in my business, a lot of people in the hockey world wanted to slice her apart because of what's going on. But I came away thinking like I feel
empathy.
I feel some empathy there for her. Whether she was right or wrong, it looks like she's got a tough go.
Don Taylor, great pleasure to have you on the show.
You wanted to get rid of me like 30 seconds ago.
The time. It's all about the time.
I'll never let you forget this.
It's TV.
You're welcome to use our green room on your way out.
Anytime.
Touch up the makeup.
You help yourself to the makeup room.
I need it.
Coming up next on Still and Vance, what the hell is wrong with people? We love that segment.
Love that segment.
Also, a cheeky new device that is meant to diffuse difficult conversations at the holiday dinner table.
This is a real thing. This is real.